Welcome to the New Country, New Home programme, where we're telling the story of a refugee woman and her family. In the first part of this programme, we told you about Amit and the challenges that he faced. Now, we're continuing this story from the perspective of his wife, Aisha. The refugee experience is different for her as a woman than it is for Amit. When Aisha began her journey as a refugee, she had no idea what would happen in the future. She's now beginning life in a new home in Europe. Is it possible that this story about Aisha and her family sounds like it might be part of your refugee story?
Recently, I feel more positive about life in Europe. I made many friends at the cooking class. Until last week, I only really had Sarah. Now I know more women. I am finally building some friendships. Amit and I invited Fajima, her husband and children for dinner last night. I made one of the recipes we learned at the cooking class. Fajima brought a cake that we had recently learned to make. It was strange to see. We are all refugees, but we were eating European food and using local phrases. I would not believe this a year ago. Fajima reminds me of myself when I first arrived. She is quiet and unsure how things work. She seems quite frightened. I want to reassure her that it will get easier. I do not know if she will believe me. Fajima's husband, Yassi, gets along well with Amit. I am sure that Amit will introduce him to Pastor Alex soon. One day, I offered to go shopping with Fajima. I tried to chat with her so she would not be scared on the tram. I showed her how to buy your ticket, where to sit. No one smiles on the trams. The locals seem very unhappy. Sarah once explained that they are often very happy and friendly, but they don't smile much in public. Although Fadima and I don't have very much money, we did some shopping. It was fun to look at the different beauty products and fashions. Back in my homeland, we had some money and could buy things. It was so strange not to be able to afford things anymore. We bought a few small items and left in the late afternoon. On the way back, the tram suddenly stopped. The announcer was saying something. Neither of us could understand. We looked around at everyone. What should we do? People got off the tram. Should we do that too? If we get off the tram, how do we get home? I felt worried. I needed to be brave for Fadima. I watched as everyone got out of the tram. We decided that we should follow them. We stood nervously on the platform. I wasn't sure what to do next. Why did the tram stop? Why did everyone get off? How would we get home? A young woman came up to us. She looked at me as if she could read my mind. She had kind eyes and a cross necklace and a nice smile. She told us her name and asked where we needed to go. She said that the tram line had a problem. We needed to get on the tram going in an opposite direction back to the main station. Then we needed to get on yet another tram that would take us home. She said she was going somewhere close to our destination and she would help us. She was so nice to us. Things were so confusing. I couldn't believe that this random woman came to help when we needed it most. Fajima was even more surprised than I was. There is kindness everywhere, she said. Yes, I agree. I was so thankful for that woman. I was so thankful that out of the whole tram of unsmiling people, she was able to help us. Maybe there really are some nice people in this country. Maybe Amit is right, that God is here too. It seemed like God took the right person and brought her to us.
The story of Aisha and her family is not finished. Tomorrow is another day with new challenges and new opportunities. Aisha does not know what will happen, but God knows. God cares about what happens to Aisha and her family. God also cares about what happens to you during this time as you look for a new home in a new country.